Good stuff. Let's turn our attention to the actual sacrifice phase of this, because, this is what I don't think anybody expected, that this would, in another day or two basically come out, where last night I was getting warm and cozy, getting ready to go to sleep, watching some trash TV to wind down for the night. And then Richard had to ruin it all with the contract address that you would, not contract address, but the address that you would send sacrifice to for ProveX if you actually want to sacrifice for this thing. So just to set this up real quick, if we go back in time to a whole 48 hours ago, most people were speculating, I imagine what he'll do is he'll only be accepting the core PulseChain tokens for it, because that will put buy pressure on the price of the tokens. It helped whenever he did it for the sacrifices for Pulse and PulseX, obviously, a few years ago. That was literally the complete opposite market condition. I mean, yeah, you said to me off the air earlier, you had a bunch of people that were like paper millionaires that were more than willing to completely overextend themselves and sacrifice way too much, which it's kind of a catch-22. Whenever there's like a large sacrifice pool, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where like the chart can't do well right out of the gate because too many of you got in, basically. So that is obviously what we've just lived through over the last few years here. Obviously, we have the opportunity right now to buy 80% lower than anybody sacrificed for. But for Pulse and PulseX, now the interesting thing is we're on the other end of this. This is why so many people, I think, were astonished that he would actually launch another sacrifice. I mean, just the fact that there is one, the audacity of this man to do this again, all of the comments about it. And here we are doing it at the bottom of the market when people probably, certainly don't have anywhere near the capital to do it. And then, to everybody's dismay, which we're going to get to here, the only things really not accepted are the core PulseChain tokens. So a lot of interesting things here where this is purposefully set up with every detail knowing it would piss off people. So I think there's method to the madness here, or I'm just insane and I'm coping, whatever. But let's read this post. So Richard said, this just went live on ProveX.info. Keep in mind, there was no logo for this thing and there was no name for this thing. This all came together in a matter of days. Shill Gates won the ProveX logo giveaway after Googling an AI generated X image that Richard just picked and changed the color to. And after Shill Gates, I'm not going to say anything about anybody, but so this just went live. There's the address to send it to. He says, you are sacrificing your coins to make a political statement. You believe in capitalism, the removal of middlemen, and replacing trust with proof. You are sacrificing your coins to prove you are serious about this belief. You have no expectation of profit from the work of others. We've seen this before. You understand that what you sacrifice can be sold and you will receive no benefit from it. He says this is where the eyes started to pop out. Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, Solana, XRP, TRX, Tron, Doge, ADA, a bunch of other stuff, all accepted many coins from many other chains. And then he says, underline, no sacrifices will be credited from the PulseChain network for anything. Now, this has already changed a bit, but he says no Pulse, no PulseX, no Inc., no Hex, no eHex will be credited from any network. A whole lot of people are going to post angrily, clearly he knows this, that what they wanted to sacrifice, they're not allowed to. It's okay. The rate increases quickly and the sacrifice is over quickly. This maximizes fairness across all networks. The max bonus is 3x, which is actually higher than the Pulse or PulseX, which people thought he would not do again, and he did. There is a leaderboard, he says. Rate increases start in about 21 days. What might be airdropped for free to those addresses noticed proving their belief in this political statement? What other tokens should be added and what networks, he says, and gives screenshots of the website. If you guys want to go to the website, it is simply ProveX. What is it again? I forget.
Info.
Yeah,
ProveX.info. Yep.
And we can bring that up in a moment. You don't have to now, Ewok, but yeah, you can track how much has been sacrificed. And we can just tell you right now, about 24 hours out, it's at about $800,000. So we're pushing. We'll probably be at $1 million by tomorrow, I imagine. Just to put this in perspective, I was watching Crypto Coffee earlier, and I don't know if my ears deceived me, but I think he said that there was $200 million within a single day for the Pulse sacrifice whenever it started. Is that okay?
Yes.
$200 million. So 200x more money in the Pulse sack within the same amount of time frame than we've got in this ProveX sacrifice right now. Okay, so let's break this down because this is going to take us a while, I think. But first off, what do you make of just the fact that he's even doing another sacrifice, the fact that it's this stage of the market, and that we are not having the Pulse tokens accepted? Basically just hit it from every angle. And the other thing I wanted to ask too, he mentioned a qualifier that he gave about, you're going to be upset that you can't sacrifice Pulse. He said that it's a short window. Is this not about the same window as the Pulse and PulseX sacrifice time frame? Like I thought they were about this length. This is going to go until January.
It's longer, actually, because I remember with Pulse, was it Pulse or PulseX? I forget. You only had 5 days to hit the max. You had the max amplifier, and then after that, it started to increase. It was only 5 days long, not 21. So this one is definitely going longer, than the Pulse, at least. It could have been Pulse or Pulse. I forget which one it was, but either way, it was only 5 days long that you had to get in at the max rate anyway. I don't know. I think that the timing of this is to allow people to gather some more capital. Again, times are different. Times are completely different. Then you had the market going up. You had a bunch of paper millionaires, which I had mentioned to you off air. And many people didn't hesitate to put 6 figures in, all over the place. And that caused a bit of a problem. And I think the timing of this is going to definitely change the dynamic of how many coins are out there. How many large holders get a lot of these tokens to just dump on your head? Not going to exist. I don't think so. I see this being very, very bullish. Also, the people that do want to get in, that only sacrificed, their RH coins, well, now they got to sell. And they got to sell at a major, major loss, which also can help the bullishness of everything, because those coins are gone. And apparently something or someone is out there buying up these dips. So who knows who that is? The whole Tornado Cash move just before all of this happened was a wise decision, I think. Because now no one knows who's buying up the dips. No one knows who's going to sacrifice for this. I do foresee something at the very end, those last several days, like before, a large chunk of money go in to get the majority of these tokens. Now, there won't be a bonus. There won't be anything like that. But there will be, a large portion held by an entity at the end. It's obvious. It'll probably be dependent on, all right, how much do I want out there in circulation? How much do we want as the treasury type, not treasury, but the OA, let's call it the OA, and how much will exist. I don't know if there's been there's a lot of details that are left out, like how many tokens will exist, how many will be out there. I don't think that's known. I think it will really depend on how many sacrificers there are. And because of this whole dynamic, it leads me to believe that this could be a very, very different scenario now, because the people that are getting in are bringing fresh capital, or selling a large portion of the bags that they have now at a huge loss. So it's multifunctional. I think it takes care of a couple different problems all at the same time.
Yeah. Boy, there's just so many angles to look at this from. So the idea, we'll just talk about the main headliner, which is the idea to not accept Pulse tokens. So obviously it's 180 degrees from what everybody thought it was going to be. It seems to me that Richard, I mean, I said this a minute ago, is doing everything possible to maximum piss off all the people that, I mean, I don't really care because, I mean, a lot of us weren't really interested in, and you know, people are pretty turned off to sacrifices, as you can imagine, obviously. But even whales, like I saw, what's his name, Rackham, you know, and whatever he posts, there's like a 2% chance it's what he actually believes, probably on Twitter. But first he was like, "Hey, count me in, ProveX," and then Richard announces this, and he says, "Sitting this one out. Good luck to y'all." And I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever, dude. And now I just saw he's pumping up ProveX on Twitter earlier, but it essentially everything, like number one, even doing a sacrifice. Number two, excluding Pulse tokens, which everybody figured would be what you would sacrifice. Number three, the multiplier being even larger than Pulse and PulseX. Everything about it screams to me, not necessarily saying, and I missed one. The posts leading up to it, like the day or so before, maybe if you want to pull this one up, you can. But Richard talked about, a simple investment thing that pops up in my mind from time to time. I just don't ever sell anything for less than you bought it for, basically. We saw that he posted, there were screenshots. He had started to post a poll, or how do you like to rip off Band-Aids, like immediately or slowly, knowing that this was going to be, like this announcement was going to be a huge sell-off to the ecosystem, and he knew it would be like ripping a Band-Aid off. Yeah, he said, "I remember someone shared an investing tip once in a chat room. They said, you know what my secret is? Just never sell at a loss. I very often think about that." I like, it was one time in a random chat room. But yeah, exactly. And he posts this a day before, literally like a calendar day before announcing the sacrifice. So to me, it seems not so subtly that he's telling, believers that are sitting here, your average Pulse holder, to not do this, honestly. Yeah. I mean, okay. So earlier you kind of disagreed with me.
No. To not do this, not sell at a loss.
Well, yeah, right.
So not to not sacrifice. I don't think he's telling people. So that's what I'm saying different than, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and the difference would be basically, hey, you get some dry powder from a paycheck or something like that, and want to throw in a few shekels, then okay. But I think also maybe to give what I said a little bit of credibility, and I know that the other sacrifices in the past, he always likes to talk about, passing the Howey test or failing it or whatever the hell you're supposed to do with that test. But the disclaimers on the website are pretty aggressive in what they say. I mean, I'm sure he probably expects no one to click on them, so there's that. But I mean, it's very explicit, like almost to the saying, like, we will rug you. Like, you could literally be rugged here, and it is your fault. I mean, he's basically, I don't know. It just seems like very explicitly saying, like, don't do this, basically. Well, I know he's covering his ass, obviously, and people are going to do it anyway. It seems like there's a concerted effort. The way that this was thrown together, the posts leading up to it, there was no even name for the goddamn thing. It's a logo that just was Googled, just everything about it. And I think the product is going to be fine. Like, I don't think Richard Hart's going to bring a product to market that's a piece of shit. Maybe it won't have all of what it's going to be decked out with eventually, like we've seen with PulseChain. But I just think in terms of this sacrifice round, he isn't necessarily, pleading for everybody to throw their money in, I guess is what I'm saying. He is concerned, there's a concerted effort to reach out outside of our ecosystem. He's not accepting the core tokens. He's commenting on Brian Armstrong posts and Coinbase posts like, hey, did you see this? And stuff like that. Trying to spread the word. You have the sacrifice totals up on the screen right now, where it's 792K sacked. The number one sacker has given up $40,000. And the number two sack, I don't know why the USD amount is no longer showing, but I know it was 20K of Solana in the second spot.
I think what happened, and I saw a post from maybe Martin, Storyteller, that had said something about they were able to fool the sacrifice into these scam Solana tokens, and they credited them for full amount. And this USD value has disappeared. So I don't know if this will change or not, or be completely invalidated, or what's going on with that whole scenario. But I did hear that the 37,000 or whatever it was at that point was a bad token. So that could be the reason the USD value is gone. And again, we'll see if these points change or what happens with them.
That is interesting. Yeah. So we will see that. But if we continue to see like Solana tokens coming in now, yeah, is it easy for a PulseChain whale just to sell a bridge to Solana, buy Solana? I mean, yeah, I guess so. But the point is, it is a bigger barrier to entry for PulseChain people to get in. You must sell the lows. I mean, we talked about this earlier too. I think that this is another effort to mark a low of the ecosystem. Like, he knew for a flaming fact that everybody was going to sell off, and that was going to happen last night. And that's probably why he deleted that Band-Aid post, because maybe he thought it was a little bit too on the nose. I'm not sure, but inevitably, it was just like the pump tires launch, very, very similar. That's why the people that were panicking last night, I was like, are you shitting me? Right? Like, we've seen this before. This isn't like some fundamental thing change. I don't know. I just, the people that were panicking, I couldn't understand it. It was so clearly, and I mean, I'm looking hindsight 2020, and maybe I'll still be wrong, but I mean, we saw it bounce right back up. Like, it was just a very short-term thing. I guess we're still down there a little bit, but